officers of the district administration, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, friends from media. When I asked Professor Rajveer Singh in Delhi that on which subject you want me to speak before my dear alumni and the dear students of law or other departments, he very interestingly told me that there is no subject specification event, but I want you that you should speak about yourself or that the students are inspired. So take it from me that I am not going to speak on law, on constitution or any other defined subject before you. The learned registrar in his introductory remarks started with a brief narration of my journey from a village which is not far away from Rohtak. And I thought I will share some of my experiences in life which might be of some help to the young, brilliant and eminent new generation of this country who is making its future in the compound of this glorious university. My dear young students, those were not the as good and fortunate days as you are experiencing. When I was studying in my village school, where there was no English medium, there were no fan, there was no light in the schools. Until the 8th class, we used to sit on the floor or under the sky in the open ground. The first luxury of education, that wooden made stools to sit, were provided to us when we were promoted in the 9th class and not before that. But then I belong to a reasonably well-placed middle-class family. So we had some basic amenities at my house, and the 4 or 5 of students, one of my dearest friend in my village, Ajmer Don, he was my best friend and we were both studying together. We all 4 or 5 students used to stay in one room in my house where the light provision was there, and in the night we used to study and prepare for ourselves for the 8th examination and then for matriculation examination. You can imagine the quality of the students and the quality of the education, that out of 68 only 4 students could qualify in the matriculation examination. Either I would blame to myself, the students, or maybe that whatever the system had provided at that time. The first cosmopolitan visit, I am using the word cosmopolitan, was when I and my friend Ajmer Duhan, we went to Jhansi to stay for 4 or 5 days to appear in the state level scholarship examination, because we too were shortlisted from the school, and we went there. The Jhansi was the center and we stayed there for 4 or 5 days. That was the first kind of a urban feeling that I could get from a town like Jhansi only. But then this is how the time passed. I did my matriculation, went to Government College Hisar, and frankly speaking, there was none in the family or in my close relations doing law or in law profession, and therefore there was no idea at all that what kind of profession should I choose after my graduation. The family was very keen that I should concentrate on competition for a government service, become an asset for the family as earning hand. But somehow or the other, by the time I reached my final year in BA, I was determined to join law. How I got this idea, from where I got this idea, there is some background in it, but today there are some time constraints, but I will not. But I had decided that let me think of joining law, and whatever will happen, I will face the consequences. I persuaded my family, and eventually I got admission in law, and I came to MD University Rohtak. At that time, the entire university was comprising of one building only, and once some offices were there in the garage. We didn't have the luxury and liberty and the enjoyment of all these kind of 5 or 7-star facilities as today. The university has got that kind of outstanding infrastructure. Thanks to the successive vice chancellors, and much credit goes to Professor Rajbir Singh, who has been able to create all this environment. But in law department, irrespective of the infrastructure, the team of teachers was outstandingly dedicated. I cannot explain in words the investment they made in each student and how personal touch they used to give during their class, in the classroom or even outside the classroom. My teachers were available to us 24 hours, and so must be right now also. Today's teachers also, they are too very dedicated. The quality education the teachers provided at that time, because of their commitment, because of their zeal, and because of their mission that their students succeed more than what they had achieved in life, as Professor Ranbir Singh explained. We really learnt a lot. And after my result came in LLB final year, I will take you slowly, I will complete this journey in a few minutes. I decided that I will immediately join the profession, I will start practice. So from that building, I took my mark sheet, and I was going to the local bus stand near Model Town, thinking that from Rohtak itself, after getting the mark sheet, I will go to Chandigarh, apply to the Bar Council, and will obtain my license. So when I was walking on foot from that university building to the local bus stand, I was going, it was afternoon, I got a call, somebody was calling by name. 3-4 times when somebody called me, then I looked behind and I saw one of my law teacher. छुट्टियां थी, यूनिवर्सिटी बंद थी, but then still I found one of my law teacher was there. He was calling me. I rushed back, touched his feet, and I told him that, Guruji, I have passed the law and my degree is here. He said, where are you going? I said, I am going to Chandigarh. Why? I said, I want to apply to the Bar Council to obtain the license because I want to start practice. In fact, I have already started practice because I am going to District Court Hisar, my hometown, and I just need a license. Yeah, he said, why? Why do you want to join practice? I said, Guruji, I am very keen to join the profession. He said, if you will join practice, then where are the students who will join the LLM? He thought that I was academically sound, so I should join LLM. So my answer was, Guruji, now I am fed up with studying, so I want to join profession. Little realizing that profession, the whole life you will can continue to read, and you wanted to escape from reading. But this is how the fate and destiny you call, or my decision you call. I was very firm. I went there. I went to Chandigarh, got the license, and 29th July 1984, I formally joined the profession. When I was practicing in the district courts working with a senior, my senior was a very outstanding civil counsel. He asked me to argue one appeal, civil appeal, before the district judge. When I argued that appeal before the district judge, it was just 2-3 months of my practice. The district judge called my senior. He was a prominent leading lawyer, and in the morning it's a common practice that in the court of the session judge, or mostly all the senior lawyers of the bar, they will be there. Normally everybody has cases there, so they will assemble there. So in presence of all the senior counsels and leading lawyers, the district judge announced that why this boy is being spoiled in the district courts, you ask him to shift to the high court. So all the seniors started telling me that you shift to Chandigarh and you start practicing in the high court. I said I don't know anyone in Chandigarh. I don't know any lawyer, I do not know anyone else, where to stay, where to work, how to go, which office to go, whom to request, and who is going to accommodate me. And I don't have financial means to go and start my own establishment. So therefore, what can I do? I can't go there. Then one of the leading lawyer in the district court, Hisar, after 1 month or so, he made some arrangement. He talked to a senior lawyer in Chandigarh, and suddenly he asked me, "Beta, tomorrow you will accompany me in my car. I am going to drop you in Chandigarh." So this is how I landed up in Chandigarh in February 1985. Knowing nothing, the days were very hard. There was struggle, work and work. I got a room to stay. I didn't know cooking. Those were difficult times. But then I was determined that if my seniors in Hisar and some officers in Hisar, if they feel that there is a spark in me and I must prove my worth in High Court, I am not going to disappoint them. And that determination led me to completely devote myself in profession. And I do not hesitate in disclosing that when maybe that young people used to enjoy watching movie or anything else, I was a person who always concentrate and work on briefs. And I would also say that I was fortunate enough that my seniors also started trusting me in High Court. And I got so much opportunity to argue the cases at a young age that very soon even the judges in the High Court started recognizing me. Now one thing here I want to tell my young students or the young members of the bar who are present here. Despite the fact that I didn't study in an English medium school, or I started learning English at a comparatively late stage, what I learned after shifting to Chandigarh was that drafting of a petition, drafting of a case is real mantra to succeed. And art of drafting a case makes a lot of difference, and it really is so essential for your professional rise and to prove your competence that there is no other comparison. And slowly I started concentrating on drafting, and it so happened that many senior advocates in the Chandigarh High Court, those who were very busy with their work, they started engaging me for the purposes of drafting only. Some years, you will believe me, if I used to charge say 550 rupees as fee from a client for the entire case which he will give to me, the seniors used to give me 1100 even only for drafting purposes. So that was really something I started enjoying, but slowly when my own work increased, I started very humbly saying no to one, then to other, and then third. And eventually in 1987, full-fledged independent practice I commenced. I did succeed. I was reasonably, and I can say I always considered myself that I am a professional successful. I have established my practice, and I was doing reasonably good and quite well when eventually at the age of 37 I was offered the advocate generalship. That was a big challenge, because while working on private side, you do not understand the difficulties and intricacies and complications of government functioning. Right from the policy decision, how it is taken, and ultimately, eventually, how it is implemented at the grassroots level, there is a long journey in government functioning. And at the age of 37, when I became Advocate General, I got a deep insight of that functioning. And eventually, it really helped me a lot, I would say, after my elevation, because 9th January 2004, I will complete on Monday 19 years of judgeship. 9th January 2004, in the morning I resigned as Advocate General, and 10 o'clock I took oath as a judge. And that shifting from government first law officer to the judgeship, and thereafter in my judgeship, that my experience of private practice and as a government counsel, that helped a lot in understanding the brief before you and the judgment making process. I am not taking judgment delivering process, the justice delivery concept, that was really strengthened because of the experience on both sides, the private side and the government side. So the first thing which I want to tell the students sitting here, that please start concentrating on the art of drafting. Now, what is the art of drafting? I have been telling, and I will repeat today, the art of drafting is something like writing a fiction. When a case comes to you, every case has its own distinguished and distinct set of facts. The narration of facts in the case makes a lot of difference in eventually the result of the case. If you narrate the facts like a fiction story, and the judge or the presiding officer of any tribunal or any other quasi-judicial institution, if he start reading what you have drafted, and he cannot stop himself from reading it, and he is prompted to read up to the last, half of the case is won. And therefore, drafting makes a lot of difference. As I say, it's a very, very important component of a successful profession. The second thing which I want to tell, and which I have experienced in my life, is the clarity in your oratory. Are you able to communicate what do you want to say? You do not need any American slang. You do not need any kind of rich language or heavily loaded words for expressing yourself. In a plain language, if you can communicate what do you want to communicate or want to say on behalf of your client, that is second stage of your success. And for that purposes, I would request to all of you that start involving yourself in debates, in declamation, in speeches. Wherever you get a platform, please do speak. When you will open up, you will learn, you will gain confidence. And once you gain the confidence, you will not feel any kind of psycho fear while appearing before a judge. The third thing which you always keep in mind, that you are the officer of the court. And when you are officer of the court, your duty is to secure justice. And securing justice is not the solemn duty of the judge only. That responsibility lies on the assistance which is being provided to the judge on left hand side, on right hand side also. Therefore, there is an onerous duty cast on you, that when you go to profession, you forget about the brief you are holding. Yes, you will do your duty for the client. You will do justice to him. But at the same time, you being an officer of the court will do justice to the society also. And that requires the element of not telling lies, speaking truth. Speaking truth in legal flavor, where you can successfully defend your client, and at the same time you are not able to hide anything, and you are not compelled to tell lie before the court. That is what a professional element, a ingredient need to be imbibed in you. And for that also you need you must muster courage and have that kind of confidence that after speaking this much also I will be able to succeed in a case. But if after law, it's not necessary that you will join profession. Today there are a lot of avenues available to the law graduates. You may think of joining the judicial services, and I am told MD University is the top leading university from where the law graduates are now being selected and appointed as judicial officers in the states of Punjab and Haryana and Delhi. That is another role model. You are selected as judicial officers. So what is your duty? There your duty, as I said, is to do justice and justice only. It may be true that left and right side, the advocates are supposed to assist you in doing the justice. But then the solemn duty as a judicial officer is on you. You have to see that whether you have done justice or not. And for that purposes, my dear friends, the one principle which I have been talking and which since I got opportunity today to speak before you, I would repeat is, always keep your third eye open. Don't think that law alone will allow you to succeed in delivering justice. Please remember, equity is another very powerful tool which you always must keep with you. Make sure that your legal sharpness does not allow law and equity to come into conflict. Rather, you make them complementary and supplementary to each other. And if you succeed in doing, and if you are a good humane, you have a approach to the marginalized section, to the last man in the street, to the common man, and if you are able to understand the pain and agony of that common man, I am quite sure you will prove to be a very successful judicial officer also, as a judge also. I am not saying that you will not follow the prescribed procedure of law. I should not be misunderstood to say that you don't follow the law. But I must point out to you that when you are determined to do justice, the law itself open vista and provide you ways how to achieve that justice. I was sitting in a civil revision jurisdiction in the High Court and dealing with an interim matter, when I found that this is a case where A and B parties are not contesting against each other. This is a case where there are 4 girls, minor girls, who are sisters, unfortunately, whose mother has been murdered by their own father and father was in jail. That it is a case where the rights, properties and future of these 4 girls is at stake, not of the parties who are before me. So I immediately thought that what should I do? So here comes the question of law. If I was to follow the strict literal sense law, then I was sitting in a civil revision jurisdiction and I could not have gone beyond my powers under section 151 of the Code of Civil Procedure. But then I said no. I am also a constitutional judge. So I must invoke my powers under Article 226. I immediately invoked my suo motu power, converted that revision into a 226 writ petition and passed series of orders to protect the properties of those girls, to provide them education, got them admitted to the schools, included the state of Haryana as a party. I directed the state of Haryana to release scholarship to those girls. I directed the social welfare department to release the pension benefits available to the children or the kind orphan children, because I said that they are orphan children, their father is in jail, mother has been killed. And eventually, eldest girl, by that time she had qualified 10+2 examination, I kept that matter for. And when the girl became eligible for the college, the eldest one, I didn't pass an order. In my order, I said, I request principal of DAV College Pehwa to provide one free seat to this girl. There was no order by me. The principal came after 4 or 5 days in my court. He said, sir, I have complied with the order. I have admitted the girl. I said, principal sir, what else benefits you will provide to this girl? He said, sir, I need your help. I am recommending her case for scholarship, but you have to tell the education department. I said, don't worry, you send it. He forwarded the case. I directed the education department. The girl got the scholarship. Eventually, I came to know that the children have now been properly rehabilitated. Their maternal uncle was protecting them. He was looking after them. He was caring them, taking care of them. He was the de jure and de facto guardian. So through him, he used to appear in court. I came to know that now most of the issues have been resolved. That stage only I closed the case, though I still kept it pending in the High Court. I am just giving you an example that if you want to do justice, you will find ways and means. So as a judicial officer or as a judge or at any place, whether you are sitting A court, B court or all forms of judicial system, wherever you are sitting, you are a potential source of providing justice to the society, provided that you are committed for that cause. And that commitment you can learn in this temple of education and the environment which MDU University has created here. The life on the material and materialistic parameters, when you succeed in achieving certain positions, offices, it looks to be that you are a successful person. But today, when we learned the lessons of some new things about happiness, it really prompts me to convey one thing more, that it's not necessary that everyone would achieve those parameters or those achievements or those tag marks. Like if I give you my example that I became Advocate General or I became a judge of the High Court or I became a Chief Justice of the High Court or then I became a Supreme Court judge or that I will become so and so. These may be. Those who feel that they have not been able to get all these things are also a huge asset to the society, please. All of you, young, older, all of you, irrespective of the age group, you are the real human resource of this country. We are one nation who have not allowed the population to become a liability, and with the passage of time, we are converting the population into a big resource. And in that movement, all of you are participants. So never think in positive terms, pessimistic attitude. As I have been saying, and I repeat here, I am a positive person and think in positive terms. So therefore think all of you that you can play your own individual role wherever you are, whatever you are doing. Whether you are a teacher, whether you are a school teacher, you are a college teacher, you are in profession, you are practicing in district court or in high court or wherever you are. Your role is very important to the society. You are a stakeholder and you are an actor of the society. And since you are a stakeholder, therefore play your role within your own limits. Try to play a role, positive role, a contributory role, a creative role, which can ultimately, as I said, become an asset to the society. This is what the message I thought I will convey to all of you, and I will share my views with you. I think there are time constraints, and maybe I will request Professor Rajveer Singh and the university authorities to, this will be a reason to call me again, and I will say that I will share the second part of my next time with you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.